Intro bumper, that sounded scary logo and sound effect. Host, look, we've been fed the same corporate lie for years. We were told that David, that megalomaniac synthetic on Planet 4, sat in his dark little workshop and invented the perfect organism. But Alien Earth just nuked that entire narrative from orbit. Welcome back to That Sounded Scary. Today, we're tearing into the most controversial shift in the lore, the tadpole. If you actually pay attention to the biology, and I mean really look at the specs of the alien, Earth specimens versus the lab rats we saw in Romulus and Covenant, the truth is staring you in the face. David wasn't a creator, he was a damn copycat. He was tracing a masterpiece. The natural xenomorph is light years more efficient than the synthetic knockoffs that nearly broke our timeline. Segment: The Natural Strain. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. In Alien Earth, set 3 decades before Ripley ever set foot on the Nostromo, we're finally seeing the natural strain in its prime. This facehugger isn't just a delivery system for some black goo viral cocktail. It's carrying a physical, multicellular nightmare, the Ocellus Larva, aka the tadpole. This changes everything. We're talking about a vertebrate parasite with a spine and a tail. It's mobile. It can survive in a petri dish on its own. And here's the kicker, it's a respiratory parasite. When Kirsch sticks it into a lung, we see how the beast actually works. It doesn't need to rewrite your DNA like some bioweapon. It just needs your oxygenated blood to fuel its growth. This natural version molts, shedding its skin like a lethal insect, staying mobile and aggressive the entire time. No cocoons, no downtime. Just pure predatory evolution forged on a death planet like Jenna. Segment: The Synthetic Fraud. Now look at the synthetic junk. In Alien Romulus, Weyland-Yutani is literally 3D printing facehuggers using compound Z01. These aren't creatures, they're bioprinted hardware. These printed versions don't have a tadpole. They inject a bolus of cells, a concentrated hit of the pathogen that triggers a chaotic, hyper-accelerated growth the host can barely stay alive through. That's why the Romulus Xenos have to cocoon. Their cellular structure is basically a melting, screaming soup that has to fuse with the ship just to stabilize. David's version is a speed run of evolution. Sure, it's fast, but it's messy, unstable, and it's a sitting duck during that cocoon phase. Segment: The Prodigy Purge, which leads us to the biggest what-if in the series. Remember that Alien Earth TV spot? That gestation teaser showing a creature forming perfectly in a liquid tank? We never saw that in the actual show. Why? Because Prodigy Corporation was trying to play God just like David and Rook. They wanted to domesticate the monster, grow them in tanks, and pipe in frequencies to control them. But we know how the story ends. Prodigy gets erased. By the time Ripley wakes up, they're a ghost. My theory? Their tank growth method was a total disaster. It produced duds, monsters that couldn't survive 5 minutes outside a lab. Weyland-Yutani swooped in, scrubbed the records, and realized that the natural way, the tadpole and a living, breathing host, was the only way to reach perfection. David didn't create anything. He found a masterpiece and tried to trace it, but he couldn't replicate the soul of the organism. The real terror isn't some chemical reaction in a beaker. It's a natural-born parasite that's been stalking the dark since the dawn of time. Prodigy Corp tried to build a better cage, and they paid for it with their lives. And that sounded scary.